It's taken a long time for Tales of Xillia 2 to get here. In fact, while we only just got the original game back in August 2013, the Japanese had already had this sequel in November of 2012. Still, better late than never, and RPG fans are certain to be grateful to Namco Bandai for taking the time to bring this game over, and thankfully this is far from a rushed localization, resulting in a damn fine RPG. Following on a year after the original, you play as Ludger Kresnik, a young chef who, on his first day at work, crosses paths with a young girl named Elle. As she's trying to get to the mystical land of Canaan, a place where she hopes to meet up with her father, and together they're embroiled in the greater happenings of the world they live in, as well as an added layer of alternate timelines and parallel worlds. It's a relatively complex tale, with a cast of many characters, some from the original game, and this sequel does a very good job of putting you in a world that feels very alive, with a ton of NPCs to speak to, optional dialogues between party members, and the odd element of player choice within cutscenes as well. And what doesn't feel quite right is Ludger playing the silent protagonist role. With everyone around him too eager to talk and express themselves, his occasional grunts, groans and short sound bites come at a detriment to his character, even if he's possibly meant to be your avatar in this world. Eschewing the turn-based combat of its peers, Xillia 2 adopts a very effective real-time approach to combat, and it's very much like a basic third-person brawler in many ways, with players controlling Ludger himself, but battles also take place with 3 other party members that work autonomously until given orders or a specific strategy. These other characters can also link with our hero, offering a few chances to flank enemies, activate special abilities and deal even more damage. Other battle systems come into play as the game goes on, most of which aren't explained terribly well as the player is overwhelmed with various terms and unhelpful jargon. But once a level of understanding is reached, battling enemies is an enjoyable endeavour, especially as battles with normal enemies can be over in a matter of seconds, alleviating the usual JRPG annoyance of random battles. When you're playing any JRPG, you expect to take part in thousands of fights, so it's great to see a combat system that offers so many options and depth, especially when you factor the ability to wield multiple weapons at once, being able to change them mid-combo. Outside of fighting various beasties, you're given a certain amount of length on the leash in which to explore the various cities and environments that make up this modern looking world. However, this leash is regularly pulled shorter by an Animal Crossing-like debt system. Early on, you end up owing a lot of money and have to resort to paying it off with a loan, and doing so is a constant task that is a necessity to progress. Essentially, you have to pay off that money in instalments, and travel to new areas is completely blocked off until that instalment is paid, blocking your path on the main story quest. To earn the money you'll need, well, you could grind enemies, but more likely you'll be taking on quests from a job board, with tasks ranging from your usual fetch quests to battling so many enemies. Oh, and finding cats, because felines are a constant feature of Tales of Xillia, especially Rollo, the lovably obese cat owned by Ludger. A major side quest sees you finding 100 of the furry little buggers for a crazy cat lady that lives in your apartment block. But once you have them, you can then send these cuddly runaways out into the world to find items for you. While side quests are always a nice diversion, it's just incredibly irritating that the debt system itself becomes a disappointing way to pad out the game, prohibiting progress for no real reason. Take out the need to pay off this money, and I guarantee this adventure will be a great many hours shorter. These sorts of quests should be optional and not stop the player from getting further along with the main narrative. It's a shame that the debt system is so intrusive, as I honestly wanted to reach the next story mission as soon as possible, to see more of Xillia's world and listen to more conversations between these characters. The dialogue in particular is a cut above the average JRPG, and is entertaining enough to make you want more, while the presentation here is also of a high standard. There are also some very well done cutscenes with some great fight sequences and the occasional animated video.
It's where you and I can finally live in peace.
Place that grants wishes?
A sound JRPG, this offers a fun yet deep battle system, a great story with tons of optional narrative, and plenty of in-game background information, making this game worth playing even if you didn't play the original game. The death system can be very annoying, but once you get past that, if you're after a role-playing game that's just a little bit different, you cannot go wrong with this one.
Your hammer sure packs a punch.
Yes, it's simply smashing. You could say it nails it every time.
Again, Rowan?